1. So, looks like slightly less on the line than other. I believe that using a vanilla sprite is the meme Feasel. But we are off. Nothing in either starting location.
Actually, it looked like there was a bow in
Oh,
Link's house.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's actually pretty massive. Wow. What a thing to miss.
And we also had a quick map check on Zatox's side, I believe. We saw Crystal 5 in Desert, I believe, and the other 2 were also crystals. So, Light World Dungeon, all required.
Tier 1 triple is a bomb, so both route. So Spooty's route, probably better in the long run. This Uncle first route, now he has a weapon and 10 arrows. If he doesn't go and do escape, like right now, I would be, like, eternally confused as to what people do this route for.
Now, I've actually never seen an arrow and bow escape, so it's pretty unusual, so I'm not entirely surprised that he made that choice, especially considering if he does happen to run out of ammo, then he's kind of in a bad situation. But it is interesting that that was an option.
It only takes 5 arrows. He had 10. So it would, it's like, that's the whole... Now you're just wasting time. See, this is why you don't do this route.
SpootyBiscuit finding a sword at the Vanilla Mushroom location. Early sword is always good, in my opinion.
An additional heart to start us off. Kills another guy so you can get another tree pull.
Now, something I'm thinking of already with that early bow, are they going to do early Eastern? Now, without the lamp, it'll be much more difficult. However, these are pretty good runners, so we'll see if they make that call.
I'm gonna go ahead and say that they probably will. I mean, it's not... Like, Eastern Dark Rooms are not that difficult. Even the quote-unquote hard one is not that hard. Like, once you learn it. There's probably a few ways to just feel your way through that room. Especially with the sword. It's not... You can keep your sword face up, you know where you are, etc. Lots of different ways to do that room.
SpootyBiscuit getting an early 350 in blind set, so looks like early cash is pretty nice to get and easy.
Some people are saying that Lumberjack was hammer. Oh, there's silvers. That's nice considering the early bow is in the house, so Spooty won't miss it, most likely. With the bow, I mean, it's not like it's an uncle where he'll go for a while before possibly even checking it.
Yeah, those early silvers are extremely strong. They'll one-shot pretty much most enemy that can be damaged by them this early on, and they'll have a very easy time as long as they don't run out of arrows.
Yeah, I mean, like Braun said, like bow plus silver is combat-wise essentially free. Like a lot of the bosses just get taken out by silvers. If you, like, most rooms are just trivialized by silvers. It's all around, like, Meyer is, like, easy. You almost want Meyer.
Yeah. And with that blue mail that they picked up in the well, they'll be taking even less damage, so good offensive and defensive early on, but not much progression. And I didn't catch it myself, but as you mentioned, Hammer might have been in Lumberjack Cave, so this could be a bit of controlling scene.
If we can get a confirmation on what was on there, because one person said blue chain and the other said hammer, so it's like these are two very different seeds. So, yeah, the Rickers are 4-1, which means that these two are playing for top seed, which does matter. The difference between having 2 losses and 1 loss when it comes to seeding is actually pretty significant. You definitely want to be sitting at 5-1 for a bit of a, in theory, easier time.
Nothing insignificant in the rest of the standard Kakarika route.
This isn't the nicest seed. Like they got some good equipment. They got their gloves. They can check in a few extra spots. They could check death mount. They could grab the death mount at the save point if they want. They don't. Level 1 gloves don't open up too much, but what it does open up is some easy to access chests, which is right here, and that's actually kind of important. Sometimes just having easy to access chests are a major deal for people. Oh, and there's a key. It looks like Spooty's gonna go do the dark sewers.
Now this is an interesting call because if by chance that the sewers have the map, and if you do the front part first, you can item count and then not check this chest at all. So it all depends on how you route. If the seed plays nice, you might not even have to waste the time.
Now it is good to go through here, just to get it over with. This item controlled quite a bit, and this dark room, most dark rooms are not too difficult to learn. You just have to put a little bit of time into it, and the hardest one is probably the maze, pod, and the first room in Mire.
Looks like Spooty's having a little bit of difficulty locating the chest, but it only has 3 bombs.
I mean, at the very least now they know the map's not there, so when he checks it, Spooty can save a little bit of time if, say, the map is the 3rd item in Zelda's chest. Now he gets the bow and he goes directly to Eastern, which is what Z4T0X did. Neither have gone to the South Lake. That's mainly because V26 logic really encourages dungeons that you can complete to get done.
And speaking of dungeons, we saw the green pendant hint from Sahasrara. It's at Turtle Rock. Now that's very interesting because many times there have been seeds in which green pendant at Turtle Rock, and it's been required. Sahasrara might be holding something like the flippers. So we'll see if this seed decides to troll them, or if Turtle Rock really is unnecessary.
Yeah. Now the thing about Turtle Rock is it actually has the most required items of any dungeon to beat, and I believe even the most to enter. It requires Titan's hammers, cane, a medallion, just to get to a chest. So its initial chest is very difficult to reach. Z4T0X making sure to collect as much money as possible, sitting at that 417. Probably won't want to do the dark room. Most people aren't very comfortable.
Now, so far from our initial item locations, I'm kind of hoping for a cape somewhere in here so that you have to do early Ganon, and boots somewhere deep in Dark World. What sort of seed are you hoping for from our initial findings?
Oh, I just want entertaining seed. I mean, that's kind of my job to make every seed entertaining. I guess that's what we do. But I don't know. I'd like to. I haven't seen just a go to each crystal gets you stuff seed in a while, and I wouldn't mind seeing that. I'd actually like to go for a nap. For a nap real quick after this, before I go out and buy a Switch. Yeah, I want a Jet seed. Where's Jet? Jet, give Jet. Jet. I tongue-tied myself. Jet, give Jet seed, please. That's all I want.
Well, we found 2 of the items so far in Eastern Palace, a small shield and a heart container. So, the next item, if it is at the Vanilla Big Key location, is a sequence break. So we'll see if this actually pays off, or if this was just, they were just baited into coming here early. Z4T0X making quick work of the quote-unquote easy Dark Room seeds in Eastern Palace?
Arika Saru, it's actually been calculated that across both tournaments, the first 5 weeks had over 200 hours a week of randomizer. And almost all of that, like probably 150 hours each week, are going to be uploaded to YouTube. It's kind of insane. Now, it looks like Zatots is not saving, so he is comfortable doing that last Dark Room. The one to lead up. Now, my favorite strategy here is to, when you enter the room, hold out your sword, and then move slightly to the right and just shoot arrows until you find... Oh, he's doing it really aggressively. And then you basically try to find the guy like that. You try to stick an arrow into him. Now he's... Oh, you know what? I think he got the wrong one. Because he can't find the key. So he's gonna try to reset the room. He moved too far up initially. Oh, you know what? I don't know if that guy resets. Oh, you found him. Yeah, I don't think that they reset, that the room resets when you leave. And Spooty caught up, basically.
A very even match so far, however, only 11.5 minutes in, anything can change. Especially if we see something big drop from the Armos Knights. It could lead them in many directions.
Yeah, the secondary tournament is currently on a small hiatus while tiebreakers are finished up, so don't be looking for those right now. They'll be back next week, I believe. And we're going to be entering Armos right here. Now with silver arrows, each of these guys normally take 3 shots to kill. But with the silver arrows, well, as shown here. Oh, and just a 20. So this dungeon was nothing. Next thing, logically, they still haven't checked Cellshore, they haven't checked Escape, they haven't checked... Hyrule Castle Basement. Like, there's a lot missing here that they can do. But getting that crystal out of the way, perfectly logical. But the Eastern Palace area was completely worthless.
I do find that very interesting with how early of a bow we get. Perhaps the early bow is hinting towards Palace of Darkness instead.
Yeah, that's actually usually where it sends you. Palace of Darkness opens up. It opens up like the entire back half of the dungeon. It opens up the whole dungeon, having the bow. You just need the hammer to beat it. So, quite commonly, I've noticed that the early bow is less of a Eastern-like signal. It's more of a pod signal. At least in V26, due to the way that the dungeons decide how to put items.
And Zatox found the mirror inside the dam.
That's interesting. That's always nice to have before you have Dark World access, because it just makes your routing so much faster. That you can hit so many additional spots.
Yeah, and it's just a lot easier too. I find whenever I go a long period without the mirror, I go to a mirror spot and then I'm like, oh, I don't have the mirror. So getting an early mirror for these runners is very appreciated. Also allows them to check the Tower of Hera if they feel like going to
right, and they do have the
Dark Mountain.
I wouldn't be surprised if they find the lamp somewhere in Sphere 0, as it's called, which is all of the initial items you can access with only bombs. As the game, if you've ever been confused on a randomizer seed, if you've done open, maybe you tried open once, you got a little confused. The game always does consider you to have 10 bombs at all times. So that way, otherwise the game would... Ooh, and there's a Master Sword.
If they find a Moon Pearl, then that could be hinting towards Aga.
No, we have Dark World access, minus the Pearl. This is pretty sweet. That was a good cave. That's gotta be. I like that. That's a good line, chat. Good job.
looks like Z4T0X is headed towards Death Mountain. Now, without the lamp, this is technically a sequence break. So, personally, if I'm in a situation where I need to find the Moon Pearl, I would not do sequence breaks like this because unless you find the item that's causing the sequence break, like the lamp in this case, the Moon Pearl cannot be behind that. And so it's kind of a waste for time if you're looking for such an important item like the Moon Pearl. SpootyBiscuit, on the other hand, checked Ice Rock Cave and it looks like he's going down to set up a fake flipper. He's got plenty of money, so he could easily check the Zora item, which is part of the logic with both Power Gloves and Titan Summit, so he could have the Moon Pearl. Guy McGuy, they already checked the back of Escape. However, they have not been to the front of Escape in Hyrule Castle, so the Moon Pearl could be in there. We see SpootyBiscuit, he's heading off to the hobo. We'll see what item he has.
Now, both these runners are sequence breaking. So, the only thing that it wouldn't be is Zora, actually. Zora itself wouldn't be a sequence break. But most runners won't go to Zora unless they have the Moon Pearl. They'd much rather go here.
Nothing so far for either runner. Via their sequence breaks, Z4T0X heading towards Tower of Hera now. Now again, we know the Moon Pearl can't be here unless the lamp is in a place that they can access already. But that doesn't mean that there isn't an important item in Hera.
There's a small T already. Mirrors out, Vril Quit Light.
SpootyBiscuit checking the sick kid.
Ooh, and there's a mushroom. That actually could be really important.
Yeah, that mushroom opens up several possibilities, not just
Z4T0X going straight there, actually.
Yeah. Now again, the Moon Pearl is likely not there.
No,
however, the mushroom does open up the.
Yeah,
it does open up the
Sorry,
possibility. That's okay. It does open the possibility of if the witch doesn't have anything useful, he might, since he just saved and quit, he might want to reset and not save and keep his mushroom for the powderless bat check.
No. I don't like that meme. That trick has worked. I've seen it work once. Every other time, the runner just wasted a lot of time. I released his bee. No, you have to keep the bee.
I guess he's feeling confident about his bee-less Mothula strats.
And there's red mail, so much better than doing a random glitch that wastes time. Is getting a bunch of health, essentially. But Rip the Bee is banned now from VT's website for releasing the bee.
SpootyBiscuit finding nothing in the Agnes cave, however...
Oh, Z4T0X! Oh! He's just gonna walk there. Huh. Sorry, I just noticed that's a really odd route in, but hey, it works for the seed.
Looks like SpootyBiscuit might be taking the portal there in the water, if I had to guess.
Or he'll go to Ice Cave.
SpootyBiscuit already checked Ice Rock Cave.
Oh,
I believe.
So I think it has to be Zora then. Zora has to have Moon Pearl, I think. Or
I don't believe either runner has checked the front of Hyrule Castle.
Oh, they haven't done the. I think you're right. I don't know if they've done the basement.
Very interesting how they would go to an out-of-way location like Zora, not Hyrule Castle.
I've been noticing runners skipping the front of Hyrule Castle. Maybe some. I see some people in chat who are a lot more experienced than me. Maybe they can explain what's up with the high-level meta of not going to Hyrule Castle for a while. Is I'm gonna guess. My guess is it's in case Adenum is required, so that way you can knock out both.
That does make sense. Also, as the chat is pointing out, SpootyBiscuit saw the moon pearl on the desert ledge.
Oh.
So instead of instead of looking for a moon pearl, they're still looking for a book. So not much has changed there. However, that does mean that their next priority, once they find the book, is pretty clear to them.
So, I kind of want it to be Torch down here that tells them that it's actually Adenum, and then Book B on the pyramid, because that would be very different. There's the cape. It's another thing that would have given them access to.
Yeah, fortunately for runners, it might have been a blessing that they put off this for so long, because if the lamp is the second item here, then that might have told them to go straight for Aga 1, and they might have done it with Fighter Sword instead of a Master Sword. And Fighter Sword Aga Tower is never fun.
Oh, they do have silvers, so Aga's Tower is like nothing, basically. So if this is a map, then he'll have to finish up the dungeon, but otherwise... It's the boot! What? So it's... They have to go... Oh, Zadots, I don't think, did the front. That's nuts. So, okay, well, that opened up 2 more locations, actually. I wouldn't be surprised if the item is in Kin's tomb. Just the way that the logic likes to work.
Yeah, this certainly does seem like a interesting seed so far. It looks like you have it pegged, and then the seed's like, no, we're gonna make you get 1 more item between you and the Moon Pearl. At this point,
they've checked Sit Kid, they need to check Kid, Kin's tomb, and Bot Rocks. So they can actually check both.
At this point, I wouldn't be surprised if they found the shovel and had to dig up the book.
This is getting a little topsy-turvy seed. It's like, okay, you have a new item. Go here. Oh, now go over here. Oh, and that's just 20. So it's in the other bonk rock. Whatever we're looking for.
They could actually find the flute. They have both the mirror and the Titan's
Oh,
Mist.
he hasn't checked this either. Sorry, it could be... Oh yeah, it could be the flute. Yeah.
Flute.
Oh, yeah, Moon Pearl is... yeah, that's in logic. You don't have to have Moon Pearl to access the Mire area or the mirror locations in Mire, so...
Now Zatox, fortunately for him, he's actually able to skip the chest in the dark room. No, wait. Never mind.
He's just skipping it because he doesn't, care, I guess.
Yeah. It's not part of the logic until they get the lamp, so that's why he knows that won't lead to the Moon Pearl.
Okay, so something has to be in here, 100%. It's the flute!
Now that's just awesome.
Okay, well that's our Moon Pearl.
Fast travel, and they could potentially access early Mire if they get Samaria and the medallion to open it. They've got bow and silver, so that'll take care of most enemies there.
Yeah, dungeon-wise, they don't have many items, but they're gonna have their Moon Pearl momentarily. It could still be on Pyramid Ledge. The book could, sure, but that doesn't matter anymore. They have desert access. The Moon Pearl is on Desert Ledge, so. He might not know about Desert Ledge though, but he'll find out right now. That's his next spot is Aduna. Oh. Does he know?
Zatox, I don't believe, checked Agna Cave. However, he's just following the breadcrumbs at this point. And we see a map check.
Oh, wow. Those are some kind pendants. Jeez. We need the hammer. You could do this. Hammer, fire rod, and that's go mode, I think. They only need the hammer and the fire rod for go mode.
Hookshot too, unless they can hover.
Oh yeah, unless
keep
it's
G
hover,
tower.
yeah. That's right. So, okay, so with minor glitches, it's just hammer and fire rod. With minor glitches, they need the flippers and the hook shot. They don't need the flippers to access Ice Palace, because it's very easy to do that glitch. I don't even consider flippers required for this seed.
And we saw the validation single arrow on the Desert Torch. Fortunately not going to be gotten by either runner, but it's nice to see. As we see Z4T0X heading into Desert, both of the runners actually are, which isn't a bad idea, 2 easy items usually, however, without a fire source they cannot complete it.
Yeah, they'll be looking for that fire source as... Yes, that's actually the fire rod would be nice, because then they could... But with Turtle Rock and Mire out, then there's no really hard dungeon for Torch. And both these runners can probably do Turtle Rock Dark anyway. I wouldn't be surprised if they can do all the Dark Rooms.
Although with how easy this seed is going, I wouldn't be surprised if it turns out that it was just a facade, and we've got Lamp in Mimic Cave and Fire Rod in Hera Basement.
That is possible.
Actually, no, Big Key's in Hera Basement, but let's just put Fire Rod locked behind the lamp anyway. Or vice versa.
What happens if you don't get the silver arrow? Well, then you get to do silverless.
Also, we had pretty easy crystals 5 and 6. I believe Hera is 5, and I saw that Skull Woods was 6, so that makes...
Easy if they can find the fire rod.
Well, yeah. But that does mean that the Pyramid Fairy is also pretty simple, comparatively speaking.
So hammer is the big one that they're looking for, to be honest. Pod is a good play, probably, if it wasn't so far away.
I believe, though, Hammer's at Lumberjack Cave, correct?
I don't know if we have that confirmed. I can't remember, and people in chat said different things. Okay, so Hammer was at Lumberjack. That's... Okay, so Hammer is Lumberjack. Okay, now we're getting more than one person saying it, so I'll believe it. So that means that they need the lamp, like... So this is... So usually a very good recommendation is, if you find yourself doing Adenum without the lamp, you're probably doing it wrong. This is one of those cases where you're not doing it wrong. If you have the fire rod, specifically, because that'll make it easier, and you don't have the lamp, you should probably just do Adenum's Tower, if you know where all the torches are. So Ada required... Oh, there's the book. That opens up a few spots so they have the Master Sword.
Yeah, they can check both tablets, or we might see Z4T0X check the pedestal. We could see something trolly at pedestal. Unlikely, but possible.
Oh yeah, ped check is possible.
Actually, is anything actually possible at the pedestal by the logic? Both rods are not possible, Samari is not possible, medallions won't stop them, flippers aren't possible, hookshot's not possible, lamp isn't possible,
yeah.
We know where the hammer is, pedestal is dead.
Oh yeah, pedestal very dead, I guess, huh? Well, okay, so... yeah. Wow, these are like the best possible combination of dungeons for this. Interesting. These Gibdos are not giving Z4T0X a moment. Now, you can actually kill them with silver arrows. I'm not sure why he didn't just go ahead and do that. Oh, but Z4T0X is going to go check it, so...
I mean, we could still see, like, a sword there, and the other sword just deep in a pendant dungeon. They might be doing Master Sword Ganon strats, which with silver arrows are not that bad, but it's still, you want tempered.
So we are going to get a pedestal chat, so feel free to show your pedestal height. I mean, we know it's nothing. It's just a little bit of love. Spooty deciding to refill his health via death. Now, they don't actually have access to much, so Lamp can't be super elusive right now, just because with the hammer not being there, unless they find the flippers, they're gonna be fine, like looking for the flute, like Lamp, so.
The flute does, of course, give them access to Death Mountain without requiring the lamp, so we could see the lamp locked behind an item on there. However, with the Hammer and Lumberjack Cave, they need the hook shot in order to explore much, or the Fire Rod to check the rest of the Tower of Hera. Looked like the red boomerang on the Bumper Cave. Couldn't remember the name of the location for a moment. Z4T0X doing a pretty vanilla Village of Outcasts check. SpootyBiscuit checking some of the northern mirror spots. Now, without the hammer, they can, both runners can kill Blind and get the crystal from Thieves Town. However, we could see something locked behind the hammer. It'd be pretty trolly if we had, say, Blind dropping the lamp, which is required by the logic to get the hammer, and then something like the Fire Rod in the Thieves Town big chest.
So, I think Thieves Town is like the obvious play, although it'll set to leave an item behind. Possibly, hey, there's powder, which we can actually access via the mirror. Yeah, Spooty definitely checked Sit Kids, so that's all checked away.
Of course, we're without the hammer. It does mean that you will have to, if you check the powder, you will have to go around back to the portal near the Skullwoods entrance to get back to the Dark World, simply because of where you'll have to place your mirror spot, but it's close enough, and they've got Titans. It's a lot longer of a trek if you have hammer and power gloves. Right now our runners are neck and neck, however they have a few different locations checked between them. Z4T0X has a bit of the Tower of Hera checked, and so he knows that it's blocked by a fire source, whereas SpootyBiscuit does not. But SpootyBiscuit, I believe, has checked a few more of the overworld locations. So it'll be interesting to see where both of our runners decide to go next. If they decide to risk Dark Aghanim, get that hammer, do the rest of Dark Death Mountain. If SpootyBiscuit just decides, you know what, chances are I can probably do Hera. Unfortunately, in this case, he can't. Spooty did check the graveyard locations. Yes, he did. But I don't believe Z4T0X did.
The other way to do Dark Agi is by lighting the torches with fire.
Pity you can't light torches with bombos. I mean,
yeah, or open up Skullwoods. Both those would be nice. It would give Bombos an additional use.
I mean, Bombos is already the most useful medallion. I'd kind of like to see Ether and Quake get more use, especially Quake.
Quake, but Quake being bad is a good meme. It's my favorite like meme item because it's useful only exactly when it is, and then like it doesn't have any corner cases. It's not. There's no rooms that are faster because of Quake.
I mean, if it's your only medallion and you want to use it against a bunch of penguins or wizrobes.
Yes, it does. It does kill the penguins, huh? That's not terrible. Oh yeah, that's true. Quake does have that Oko mode use. It does kill the water bugs.
Yeah, those water bugs, very difficult to get by them without taking at least one hit.
Yeah, it's completely random is the problem.
Fortunately for our runners, if they are fortunate, they won't have to deal with that today.
Might have to deal with swamp. Might not have to deal with that room.
Wouldn't it be trolly if we had a hook shot in the front part of swamp?
These two runners are actually pretty much doing the same route.
Yeah, there were minor variations, but for the most part, they are on par.
And that's blind down. Pretty much perfect kill. And that is...
Speaking of Quake...
that is Quake. So, seen an early medallion. Not something that these runners wanted. I don't see the medallion requirement for Meyer, so either they didn't check or we forgot to notate it down.
Yeah, I didn't catch it either.
I feel like even chat might not have been paying attention to that.
Yeah. But if it is Quake, that could be a bit of a trolley location for them to check for their next progression item.
It was Ether. Thank you, chat. Chat was paying attention. There's Tempered. Ooh, that's like the third seed I've seen in a short bit with a sword at digging game. Wonder why that is. It's so weird.
The seed's been pretty generous so far. Early swords, Tempered less than 40 minutes in, red mail, they've got at least one shield, and they have at least 2 bottles. And of course, silvers, very generous with the safety items.
You have commentators because I would die without places to commentate. Feels bad, man. No purposes in life. Unlike these runners who are actually good at video games. Spooty's really good at video games. I don't actually know that much about Z4T0X, but I believe he's a Link to the Past speedrunner, not just rando runner. I think. Somebody will correct me on that. I actually don't know.
We see a minor route divergence. SpootyBiscuit, he's going to take care of the Lost Smith, whereas Z4T0X, he's just headed straight for the Bombos tablet.
Not a bad play, but probably should have combined that, considering he has flute, with the Smiths, with the whole Smiths chain. But it doesn't pay off, so could have paid off. Spooty's probably also going to grab the chest, mirror back into Light World, and grab the powder, because you can actually bring the chest into drop-down caves, not dungeons. Don't try to bring him to Skull Woods. He'll just kind of disappear.
Now, I don't believe we had a powder check on Z4T's side, so this will be interesting to see what we get.
Oh, is that... I knew I recognized Z4T's name. Terranigma. No, I totally know about Terranigma. Don't you diss. I'm Canadian. Not American. But yeah, no, I knew his name from somewhere. But yeah, so nothing there either. Maybe the chest? Where is Z4T going, though? Oh, of course.
Get your hype out for Hype Cave. We'll see what items we get or don't get in here.
I think Hype Cave or the purple chest has to have something. There's the hookshot. That is something.
Hookshot, that is very hype. They
so
just need
because that's just the Death Mountain.
Yeah,
so they're still looking for that lamp. Yeah, actual hype today. I don't know. That's not a little hype. That gives a huge amount of access to the world. That's 14 chests that have opened up with that one item. 14 chests that we need that can be checked in less than 5 minutes apart from each other. So this is not just a small hype. This is big hype.
Yeah, especially when it's one of the very few items that they still need to find for Go mode.
Yeah, this seed actually has a very low item requirement for Go mode. They just need the Fire Rod in theory. If they were to find the Fire Rod on Death Mountain, they would actually be in Go mode, as long as they know how to do Adinam's Tower in the Dark. And if they don't, they might decide to learn right now on this November the 2nd. If you wanted to count from the time it takes them to pick up this first chest, to get 14 chests in total, you would be mind blown at how quickly you can check these chests. Like, they're going to be done very shortly on Death Mountain. Lantern first chest swamp would be interesting.
Although if that were to happen, they'd need the flippers.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's see what's up here. This is pretty... Oh, there's the Canis Amaya. That's not something they actually want to see. That is... Now, currently they don't have access to any of the dungeons, although... Check in early...
This could be the hunt for the elusive Fire Rod. Normally it's the hunt for the elusive Ice Rod, but in this case it's switching temperatures if they find an early lamp.
Yeah, finding an early lamp means, well, I guess I'm going to go to the hammer because Fire Rod could be anywhere. And finding the early Fire Rod leads to, like, this is, I like this seed. This seed's really cool. Lots of different options to kind of sequence break.
Yeah, something that I'm hoping doesn't happen, however, is if they find Fire Rod and one runner decides to do Lampless Aga and one runner decides, you know what, I'm not that comfortable with Lampless Aga, and Lamp is in a really good place.
There's the flippers. What's going to be at Swamp Palace first chest?
It could be that elusive Lamp, although with the hook shot, and, yeah, it could be Lamp, no hammer.
I still have 7 more chests to check here. A waterfall cave is back in play. They actually haven't checked it because they were at Zora. Has Spooty not been on Death Mountain yet?
Spooty has not been on Death Mountain now. So he doesn't know that the Tower of Hera is blocked by a fire source.
That'll probably be the last thing he checks.
We could see a required double dip of Swamp Palace. Lamp in the first chest of Swamp and then Fire Rod somewhere later. That would be really trolly.
Okay, and nothing in this cave. One more cave to check. Probably also gonna check Turtle Rock now that they have that Canis Amaria. Fire Rod could be as deep as the last chest in... what is it called? I'm blanking on the name. Last chest... Oh, what was that? Was that Quake?
It might have been.
I'm pretty sure that was Quake. They have access to Death Mountain. I would 100% check Turtle Rock.
Yeah, once they get that hammer.
Oh, double ether. Okay. That's both good. Oh, hello, Mirror Shield. Oh, okay. I think that means something's in either Waterfall Cave or... Yeah. This is interesting. They also have to check the ether tablet.
Now, I didn't catch what was on the floating island, but I'm assuming that our runners checked it when they did Spiral Cave.
Spike Cave is an option. Ether Tablet's an option. They've got access to the first chest in Swamp. They have access, which is probably the weirdest one that they have access to.
A little bit of Palace of Darkness.
He's gonna check Waterfall Cave. Oh, Ice Palace. Nope, no Ice Palace.
Now
Right,
without
no fire
Bombos
source
or
yet.
Fire Rod, no access.
What? This seed's very interesting. A little like trying to lead you in, but Pod is in play. There's the lamp. We have the lamp now. There we go.
Ooh, that could be. Now we're looking for a needle in a haystack.
Yeah, looking for the fire rod in pretty much anywhere. You're gonna go straight to Hera instead.
I think the trolleys the seed could get at this point is Bombos in Swamp Palace first chest, Fire Rod and Ice.
Yeah.
Interesting that Z4T0X is going straight for the Hera completion as opposed to getting the hammer from Aga.
Crystals are far more important than anything else, and he can do the Adnam. He can route Adnam in now with Pod, or kind of, well, not really with Pod, because the hammer he's got to go all the way over there. Then he can go all the way back. So it's kind of interesting. This is also a 5-sit, so maybe that's what he's thinking. Maybe if he finds, plus if he finds Fire Rod, then Go Mode is killing Adnam. Always an interesting way to go mode.
Z4T0X taking a quick break in the tile room as SpootyBiscuit checks the rest of Hookshot Cave, getting shield to cover half of Link's face. That is true, Thalphon. With the lamp, they can check the hammer, so Bombos could be anywhere in Swamp.
See, this is why these runners didn't go with custom sprites, because they got the mirror shield. So, it didn't matter.
We could even see a Bombos or a Fire Rod in Mimic Cave.
We could. What do you mean that's the variance the same as Laser Bridge? Yeah, both runners actually opted to complete the dungeon. I like it, because dungeon completion is good.
Looks like Z4T0X with the, oh yeah, I was about to say, he's going for the, bomb jump, but no, they've got the boots and the hookshot. No bomb jump required. SpootyBiscuit doesn't actually have the lamp yet, so he's unfortunately not able to complete Hera. He saw the, fire source block, and then he has to go elsewhere.
Yeah.
And it looks like that elsewhere is somewhere in the Dark World.
It's just that he's not going to a water area. Considering that's kind of what he got access to. Can't remember exactly what he's done. Oh, he has tape, so he's going to check up here. I guess he hasn't checked here. I don't think we've seen what's in Bumper Cave.
I believe we have. It was a red boomerang.
Oh, catfish. Somebody's saying.
Yeah, that makes sense. Catfish and then mirror straight to, yeah. Mirror straight to the waterfall cave.
Oh, got stuck a little bit there. So let's just gonna go grab his hammer now. Huh? Rudy? So we going to pod? No? Yes? He actually also hasn't done this yet.
Yeah, he'll get his red mail. Makes sense to route this with catfish and checking the waterfall cave. It's pretty efficient routing. As Z4T0X is making quick work of first two ball and chain guards with those silver arrows. Spooty also releasing B and opting for blue potion instead. Can't say I blame him. Now I think the real question we need to ask is, Z4T0X has the bug net. Are we going to see Swaganum strats? That would be the real hype of this tournament, or at least of this race. SpootyBiscuit, he's about to pick up his lamp in the waterfall. We'll see where he decides to go next. If he's going to follow in Z4T0X's footsteps and go straight to the Tower Pair, finish that up, or if he's going to go and get that hammer right away. Looks like he's headed straight for getting his hammer. Now I don't blame him. Opens up quite a bit, allows him to finish Palace of Darkness.
Allows him to finish Swamp. Allows them... Well, I mean, Swamp sits items, so, like, they have 11 dungeon items that they can access once they kill Adonam.
Maybe put Ether Medallion deep in Swamp, put the Bombos Medallion deep in Turtle Rock, and then stick the Fire Rod deep in Ice Palace. I think that's about as cruel this seed can get for our runners. And you can even add the shovel somewhere in that fetch quest. Meanwhile, Z4T0X is on his Agaphyte. He's gotten one blue ball so far, or was it two? Either way, the first attack that Aga always does is one of the yellow balls that you can always reflect, so
yep.
Guaranteed to get this in at most 15 blue balls, assuming that you don't miss.
Yeah, there's only been one recorded blue balls. That was 15. It was Scrivo, one of the admins for like the leaderboard. So that is the statistically unlikely scenario.
But we saw there, it looked like it was only 2 blue balls, so Z4T0X was able to get it in 2 cycles.
Oh, he's mirroring back, so where's he headed? Oh yeah, let's grab his, grab the hammer. He needs that to pretty much do everything else.
Interesting that he would flute instead of saving and quitting, but...
It's faster.
I suppose, yeah. 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. Now again, this hammer does open up quite a bit. However, most notably it opens up the majority of Swamp Palace, so we'll see if Z4T0X decides to head there next. Or if he decides to check something else, like Palace of Darkness.
It's essentially not a lead, honestly. It's like a boss at most. Because Spooty's just checked different things. Like, neither runner's made a major mistake, they've just checked different places. So you can't really tell if, when people have checked different places, you can't really tell if there's a lead, because the other runner might end up checking those places later anyway, even if they're useless. It all depends. on if the gambles made by the runner ahead matter. This is like this is like right side versus left side difference of time still, so it's like not really a lead at all.
Well, Z4T0X is entering Palace of Darkness. We'll see if it has a quote-unquote bow block, despite the fact that they got the bow in Link's house.
There's a
And
bit
they
here,
did.
so this was actually bow locked, but that doesn't matter because the bow was very early. But technically, this dungeon was bow locked.
These silver arrows make these mimics, red mimics, take one hit instead of two, and it's very much a nice thing to have when you're in Palace of Darkness, or really just anywhere in general. SpootyBiscuit's picking up his hammer in Lumberjack Cave. Yes, answering a question in the chat, by the logic, the fire rod is required for right side Ganon's tower. However, with a well-timed bomb jump, it is possible to do it with only the lamp.
Well, with a very interesting route. There's a very convoluted way to do it with just the lantern, but they do need fire rod just to access GT in this seed. So that's mute. If you don't have boots or hookshot as well, that room is essentially like you have to do it perfectly. If you have only the torch and no hookshot boots or fire rod, it's not real. It would probably be worth the time if you're super needed to do it, but. The upstairs torch the room doesn't even require that great of time. It just requires a different route in. It's you just have to light all three of the torches and then fall into the pit. When you light the third one, you'll respawn at the door, and then you can just slowly. You can do it with without boots actually, so it's definitely not required.
We see both of our runners in pod, and Z4T0X picking up the half magic, another nice safety item that this seed has been so generous with. However, not the fire rod that they are looking for.
The V27 will actually change pod's logic so that the bow is not required. The devs have pretty much said, like, yeah, we kind of messed up this dungeon. Will be the way that this dungeon like generates items will be different.
With the way the seed's been generous, I wouldn't be surprised if they picked up the butter sword within a few chests.
Spooty dropping his bomb there. One of my favorites. Oh, he's just gonna do Helmasaur. I've seen this strat a few times where you just rush Helmasaur and treat it like a mirror.
It is an interesting strategy, and if Helmasaur happens to drop the fire rod, that could give him a few extra minutes, allowing him to catch up a little from the Tower of Hera deficit.
Yeah, Z4T0X is leaving the Tower of Hera for last to basically treat it like Turtle Rock. He'll beat the boss and then just be right. Then when he leaves, he'll just be right outside Dan's tower.
Sam CS. SpootyBiscuit did not finish Tower of Hera because when he entered there, he did not have the lamp, and the Tower of Hera is fire source blocked. Big key in the Hera basement. SpootyBiscuit entering his fight against King Helmasaur. Z4T0X not that far behind. Unfortunately for SpootyBiscuit and both of our runners, King Helmasaur just wants to spit out fireballs today.
And also wanted to just sit in that corner. I've actually never seen him spit when he's against the wall like that. That was very interesting. And that's the fire rod! So Spooty's gamble pays off. He is actually in the lead now.
That's go mode.
Yeah, that is, not only is that go mode, that's actually Spooty being, that gamble paid off perfectly. Holy crap! He's not very far ahead, but that's something.
Well, actually, I'd say the runners are pretty even, as Z4T0X has
they're
Moldorm
definitely
killed.
They're definitely
and
even.
SpootyBiscuit does not.
Oh my
so
goodness.
this is a very close race. It could go either way. It's all just down to execution and dungeon routing. Could come down to a left side, right side G tower gamble.
I like this. Spooty just decided to do ice first because let's just get it over with. You won't have half magic though. That's you'll have to be conservative a bit in this dungeon.
Yeah,
that will have the half magic from the right side.
That is one advantage that he has. However, I believe SpootyBiscuit and I think both of our runners have a green potion in a bottle they picked up. Spooty at least does have a blue potion.
Neither use their silvers because the ledge is like about the same amount of time as just hitting the boss 4 times.
Yeah, with Tempered Sword it doesn't save much time, especially since your first hit is probably going to be a spin. Since you're holding your sword out to help with the hammer, spin, that counts as 2 hits, so you just need to hit him twice more.
I think Spooty actually missed the spin, but that's because Helmasaur was decided that he really just wanted to hug the wall.
Dodging Champion 2017.
Spooty gets the first minor glitch of this dungeon. This dungeon's got a lot of glitches to it.
Honestly, the Ice Palace is one of my favorite dungeons to do, simply because there's so many different ways you can route it if you're not in go mode.
Yep.
There's this bomb jump. If you get a small key early on, you can go right when you reach the yellow spike thing. I don't actually know what it's called. You could do a bomb jump in the room directly above the big chest. You could do a bomb jump to skip the hookshot required room. A lot of ways you can do this dungeon.
I actually like this dungeon when you're in go mode because it looks so good. You just get to go fast. It looks impressive when you get it. When you're in go mode, there's also like the option of checking like chests if you want additional equipment. Now we know that with half magic being in pod, that won't be useful for Spooty. So good that he's not doing that. But a lot of times people check that. But these runners probably think like, and correctly, that they are actually like right behind each other. Like Z4T0X has a small advantage in the fact that he's already completed one of the dungeons, but it's Hera with tile room, so it's like a little bit longer than normal, but these runners are like right beside each other. So Spooty does have full magic, so he will be fine to kill the shell here. It requires 8 shots to kill this. Spin to get him into the corner, and then you can, with good timing,
an amazing,
perfect
cold stare fight with the Tempered Sword.
even figures out which of the cold stairs are going to drop the item and picks that up on the correct frame.
That was
a
very well
very
done.
good fight.
Z4T0X right behind him. We'll see if he has as good a fight.
Spooty is definitely going to route Hera with portal to go directly to Ganon's tower. Like that's 100% the logic of not going to Hera or finishing Hera when he, well, other than the fact he didn't have the torch. So now we're going to still Mire. They are doing dungeons in like the most difficult order. They're going to make this seed feel very easy by the end of it.
Another amazing cold star fight from Z4T0X this time. Looks like SpootyBiscuit's doing Desert Palace first.
Oh right, sorry, Desert Palace. I forgot that it's actually Mire's not actually required.
Right.
So Desert Palace, and then he's got to go to Skullwoods, which is probably the longest trip. So that's the one that's going to take the longest to get to. We might see a route divergence here. They wouldn't be surprised if Z4T0X goes to Skullwoods. Nope, I'm wrong. They're doing them in like reverse portal order almost. They went from not portal, but flute. They went from 8 to 6, and then they'll go to 4, and then they'll go to 1.
Honestly, with the dungeons that they have left, they could easily finish within 25 minutes, or even 20, depending on how fast
This
G-Tower
could be
is.
sub 120 with an early bid key. But more realistically, yeah, 125. This is like the jettiest of seeds. I called it earlier. I wanted the jet seed so I could go to sleep. But I really want to see my boy Spooty race. So, really big fan of Spooty from all the games I've played with him and against him and communities that we share. So. So here we go, here's Skullwoods. Spooty is 2 dungeons away, while Z4T0X is only 1, due to a slight route divergence. So Spooty is slightly behind, but again, execution or a different gamble in Ganon's tower.
Yeah, and if I had to guess, I'd say SpootyBiscuit is only behind by around a minute and a half, because he does have a bit of a time advantage heading off into Skullwoods. He is a bit closer, and he doesn't have to do as much of Hera as Z4T0X did. He can just rush straight to Moldorm after Tyler. He doesn't have to check the big chest, which saves about 10 seconds. Not much, but it's still time save.
Yeah, this is being a real jet seed. This is impressive, like play from both of them. Now, luckily, neither runner. They're basically just playing for better seed in the main group stage. So, having 5 wins versus 4 wins will put you as the top seed in a match. Now, doesn't affect much, but it can affect if like what kind of people you get in your group. Because the 5 wins don't have to play against the 6 wins necessarily. At least not all of them. So it's very interesting. It also looks better. Having 5 wins is like what? It's like a percentage. It's like around 15% better. It's like 20% better to be 5 and 1. I'm bad at math, okay? And Mothula is down for Spooty.
And that's the 3rd boss in a row that's dropped the map. What is with boss not knowing where to go in their own dungeons today? And actually, I think Moldorm also dropped the map.
Well, yeah, in a lot of those dungeons, they they had already gotten both items before the boss. So SpootyBiscuit. Oh, and this is gonna be really quick. So here it is. If you supported the channel via subscribing or via donating 250 bits, you can guess the bid key. It's in any chest between 1 and 22. But if you subscribed or donated 250 bits, the bot will shout you out in chat, and you'll get put on a cool leaderboard. That's across all 4 Speed Gaming channels, so feel free to subscribe to the Speed Gaming channel that has your favorite color of flag, or give bits on whatever channel to support any of the runners. And specifically, actually, you're supporting the channel, but you know what I mean.
Now, how about you, Zelnus? Where do you think the big key is going to be?
Oh, I want the jet seat, so I'll go with 3, just because I want them to get the small key as well.
I'm going to say that the seed won't be that kind to them, and that it'll be 13.
Yeah, Z4T0X is about maybe 2 minutes ahead. 1 to 2 minutes. Taurum's about 40 seconds, and the rest of the dungeon, if done correctly, is about a minute. So this will stop once Z4T0X has entered the dungeon.
So do you think either runner will go for a right side gamble?
I don't know, it depends. Right now, they will probably just go with whatever they prefer, because they are probably thinking that they are neck and neck. That would be the correct assumption. That's 1 chest as a small heart. Ooh, there's our ether. Now we can get that pendant piece of heart.
Hey, pedestal needs a little love too.
Okay, so Z4T0X opted not to do the right side gamble. Kinda
Although
hesitated there.
without a small key, it's a bit... Oh, there's a small key.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I guess no small keys, so can't do it even. Could have done the tile room gamble. Probably not the best option.
Nah, I don't see either runner doing tile room gamble. Because it's just so much time lost if it doesn't pay off, and statistically speaking, it won't pay off.
So that's chest 4, 5. Sit 7. That's 8.
SpootyBiscuit getting the 4th map in a row for him from Moldorm.
This is about 2.5 minutes behind. Well, yeah, roughly that, just based on the time that he entered Hera.
Those were some really smooth boomerang hookshot strats from Z4T0X.
That's a red potion.
Another safety item, not bad to have. Chest number 12. If you guess 12, you win. Same room as 13. SpootyBiscuit following Z4T0X. Z4X's route pretty closely.
So Spooty has to make up about 2.5 minutes in execution.
With the race being so close, any minor mistake could be huge. A fall to Trolldorm, getting trolled with Aga 2, which isn't a very easy boss fight, just having bad luck with Ganon. Any small thing and it could cost them. Z4T0X having a little bit of trouble in this room of the gauntlet, using that red potion he just picked up. Aga does troll the same for both runners, Aga 2. However, even though the RNG is the same, the way each player plays the fight might not be. So, Aga 2 is a much more technical fight than Aga 1, so just a slightly mistimed sword swing, and it could definitely cost you.
Yeah, you can lose time, even though the RNG is the same for both the for both the Aga 2 and the Ganon fight. So for the teleports, doesn't mean that the runners will always get the same time. Not every runner has the same skill.
Z4T0X getting those Forbes robes in the conveyor room first cycle, which is can be difficult to do, but he made it look very easy. Now again, Z4T0X does have the half magic advantage. It's not much, but it could be a factor.
All it really means is that if he failed torch, that he can fail torch glitch and be totally fine. He can also skip the second magic refill if he wants, while Spooty may take both magic refills depending on the strats he uses in the gauntlet.
Yes, Lomian, no chance of 80 minutes, however, they'll definitely get sub of 125.
Yes, they do have Silver's Bamboo Shadow. They've had them for like 70 minutes, but still definitely not.
And Z4T0X validated his run,
Which is actually a little surprising that he'd waste the time to do that. Like, it's not a lot of time, but does he really think he's that far ahead?
He might be feeling really confident.
Spooty is still is made up a little bit of time. When he entered GT, he was 2:20 behind. Now he's under 2 minutes behind.
And there's an instance of where you could have gotten a single or a double, but he didn't get any. So if SpootyBiscuit played that particular part of the Aga fight slightly differently, he could save a little bit of time.
Yeah, so Spooty is making up time with his execution. It's all to depend on these last few rooms. If Z4T0X falls against Ganon, if Z4T0X dies, but with red mail, that's going to probably take a while. Plus, they've got safeties. Now, one of the things that might speed up his fight is he does have cape if he wants to use it, but most runners will just skip. Yeah, so see, Spooty's definitely grabbed that magic up, and he's probably got to grab the other one as well. looks like Zadok's got the one cycle. And with this position in, he's definitely going to get the other one cycle. Oh. And that's a spin, and now you just need a slash. And it's
Using
down.
that safety red potion, not a bad idea.
Oh, the fact that he had to use that, though. And that fire got let out. Okay, and turn the out and fight for Spooty. Oh, got really good position there. Oh, I wasn't sure if he got stunned there. Is he gonna get the triple here? No, he doesn't. Gonna wait for Adnam to get a better spot. Whoa! Oh! He almost fell twice there. That would have been the loss.
But Z4T0X finishes with an official SRL race time of 1 hour, 21 minutes, and 24 seconds. Definitely a very fast time for this tournament. We'll see if we can get Spooty in, or Z4T0X in for an interview. Spooty too when he finishes.
Yeah, that was good. And so that's Z4T0X is now 5-1 in the Swiss. Putting them in most likely the top seed for his group. And there's congratulations, Z4T0X.
Hello, thank you.
Especially for the 121, which is a really good time. That was a great seed, despite the what could have been very trolly Adnam.
Yeah.
What were you thinking when you saw that hammer?
It didn't make me too happy, so I really checked pedestals really early, just to be sure if it's a real troll seal.
Yeah.
But
Spooty
well,
opted not to, because with the items you had when you had book, there was no item that could have been on pedestal, just because you had such a. You basically had the 3 best dungeons to be pendants, if you want to avoid pedestal. You basically had the least required items possible, I think.
Just to interrupt here, we've got SpootyBiscuit finishing with an official SRL race time of 1 hour, 23 minutes, and 27 seconds. Hey, SpootyBiscuit.
Congratulations on the sub 125.
Yeah, I hope everyone enjoyed the advertisement for Dark Room Aghanim Tower, because if there's ever a seed that makes you want to learn Dark Aghanim Tower, this was it.
That pretty much.
I wasted probably 30 minutes looking for the lantern just so I could get my hammer.
Don't worry, Z4T0X did say you guys were basically neck and neck. Other than Z4T0X had already done Hera because of the way he routed. So like that seed was nuts. But yeah, if one of you did do Dark Aghanim, but then ignored the hammer logically and just had it, you would have saved so much time. If you just went to, went straight to.
Yeah, my plan was pretty much to, like, as soon as I find this lantern, I'm doing Aghanim, I'm getting my hammer, and I'm going straight to Pod. And Pod was my go mode, the fire run on Helmasaur.
Yeah, that was actually where if you had both, if Z4T0X had never completed Hera, you were in the lead there visually because you guys entered like Aghanim within like a minute of each other, and then Spooty, you did that gamble to go straight to, or not really gamble, you just decided to route in like right side straight to Helmasaur, and that paid off obviously. But Zadots had half magic, which was another slight advantage. So
Yeah, I figured that since we got thrown the big key early and we're forced to the right side anyway, like, I know I have to kill Helmasaur for a crystal, so may as well do it while I'm on the right side. And,
Yep.
you know, I'm like, you know, who knows? Helmasaur has the fire rod, maybe. We'll find out. And, you know, what do you know?
that worked out really well. So
I was hoping that, like, maybe, you know, yeah, my decision to just go straight to Helmasaur, you know, save some time over Xanax, but not enough looks like. I just spent too much time in the early game looking for Lantern, and my tendency to, like, especially when I know it's an Aghanim seed, I try to save Escape for last so that I don't have to walk back there again.
right.
And, of course, that's where we had to go, and the boots were there, so I'm sure Xanax probably had boots in the first, like, 10 minutes or something, and I didn't get it
Nope.
until, like, 25 in.
Actually,
You guys had them about the exact same time. You guys were pretty much tied in the early game.
That's kind of funny.
You guys were doing basically the exact same route. So the race was really close the whole time. I think Zadots had a slight lead, like once the hood shot and lamp were found. I think that's pretty much where he had a slight lead the rest of the match. But we were timing it out, and Spooty, you were actually catching up in GT. Like, you entered with a 2-minute 20 deficit, and I think you guys are now about exactly 2 minutes, pretty much. So you made up some time. At one point, you were like a minute 40 behind. So made up a little bit of time there. So you guys were pretty even match. It was a great match in general.
Yeah, I'm sure it was. When, you know, I'd say it's when it's a little disappointing when, you know, you're like about to start the Ganon fight and you see the other person not done. But at the same time, it's like, well, you know, it was a good race. I'm sure it was entertaining. Like, knowing that you are like that close behind your opponent, it's, you know, you got to look at the bright side.
Yeah, most of us usually wish for an extremely trolly seed that takes a while, but extremely fast ones can be just as hype.
And like it was a fast but still trolly seed because it all hinged on Aghanim Tower, and I didn't know how to do Darkroom, so I was looking for Lantern, and it was almost the last possible location Lantern could be is where I found it. I almost checked everything else, and it was pretty frustrating, but you know, is what it is.
Yeah, it looked like after you finished checking some of Dark World, you went back up to Tower of Hera. Before you got the lamp, or am I mistaken there?
Yeah, that was yeah, I found the hookshot over in that was in Aghanos Cave, right? I think.
Yeah.
And decided that I should you know, maybe the lantern's up on Death Mountain. You have the flute, so Death Mountain's not lantern locked. So, you know, I'll just go up there and check everything. Like, I'd been putting off going up there because of the lack of lantern. You know, I found the flute pretty late. And, you know, the fact that I didn't have a fire source for Hera, so I didn't really want to touch Hera, but once I found the hookshot, it's like, okay, there's too much stuff up there for me to ignore. I'll just go up there. I'll hope Hera isn't lantern locked, isn't fire source locked. Which, unfortunately, it was. But, yeah, this is kind of how it worked out.
Well, GG to both of the runners, and if you have any final words to say.
Finally a siege without an go mode item in a pendant dungeon.
Yeah, we didn't even have the chance with the Ether being right at the start of GT.
Yeah, every pendant dungeon was completely redundant.
Yeah, they're probably a golden sword. Like, the fourth sword upgrade was probably somewhere in one of them, but yeah, that was a nice seed, beautiful seed actually. I don't think anyone would be happy with that.
Yeah.
A little trolly with some of the requirements, but that lamp in the waterfall cave was a little strange.
Yeah, I almost fake flippered after the Moon Pearl to go back and check the Waterfall Cave.
Yeah, the
Kind of
seed
kicking
just-
myself a little bit, but
Well, I mean, the thing about that is, like, the seed, like, totally disincentivized you from fake flippering, because when you, like, should have, yeah, it's just.
yeah, the
seed
Moon
I've
Pearl
seen-
being on the desert ledge, like it was kind of a weird place where it
Yeah, and you had access to so many dungeons and other things to do once you got that Moon Pearl. It was like, well, why would I go do that? So
But yeah, at any rate, yeah, that's all I got to say is yeah, shoutouts to Dark Aghanim Tower. I'm probably gonna go learn that now because I don't want to get bitten by that again. I could have been in go mode like 20 minutes sooner without if I just been able to do that.
if you'd fate flipped, you would have gone the lamp. And where was Fire Roddy? It was on Helmasaur. So if you just did dark rooms, like, yeah, you could skip so much. Or if you found that lamp via Fate Flipper. If either of you had Fate Flipped to Waterfall Edge early, I think this seed could have been like sub 115 even. Like because you guys chat so much overworld. But really good seed, really fun to watch. And we'll luckily seeing both of you in the main tournament. You guys don't even have to worry about Saturday.
Yep, looking forward to it.
Guessing you guys are both very happy not having to worry about that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you guys like either of these runners, what you saw here today, you feel free to follow them. SpootyBiscuit does a bunch of other games, lots of Necrodancer if you've watched that, as well as other speed runs. Z4T0X does RPG runs like Terranigma, and definitely make sure to follow SpeedGaming as well as SpeedGaming 2, 3, and 4. And if you want to see the secondary tournament, that is on Randomizer Mania 2, 3, and 4, as well as 1. So thank you very much. I believe that there is a race going on Speed Gaming 4. There's also a race on Speed Gaming as well, so you can feel free to check both of those out.
And of course, thanks to everyone involved, to our restreamer and our tracker, Dude, and of course to my co-commentator, Zelnus.
And thank you very much, Kevin. So have a wonderful day, everyone. Peace out.
Later.
Bye bye.